What's the worst piece of financial advice somebody has given you? When my mom said that she will hold my money for me as a kid. My cousin bought a camper. Went camping once. And then decided camping wasn't for them. Rather than selling it, they decided to just stop making the payments and let the bank come and get it. Which, eventually, they did. Just get it at Rent-A-Center. I had a co-worker that got pretty much everything there. It's only $20 a week. They'll replace it if it breaks. $20 a week for how long? Oh cool. So you're paying more than double for it? Got it. So when I was 24, I was financially struggling. I had a job that worked me a lot of hours, but only paid me $10 an hour. My parents talked me into buying a brand new 2004 4-door Honda Civic. The pre-interest price tag on it was about $25,000. A few weeks after getting it, my hours got regulated and it took one entire paycheck to make the monthly note on it. I could not afford the insurance on it. I very quickly realized my parents were bad at money. My father would tell me to max my credit card on a new car, and if they asked for payments just say FM. What are they going to do? My father is several levels of debt hell deep that he's trying to get out of now. But he's at least trying. My aunt took me to a car dealership when I was looking to buy my own first car. I was looking at the clunkers I could afford. But she said I should be looking at the new cars. She said, the total price doesn't matter because you make monthly payments. I suddenly understood too well why she had always been so financially unstable. My Phil, when I mention our retirement plan, I never contribute to my retirement account. Spend it quickly or it'll get stolen. Coming from someone with a history of losing and blowing their money. Yeah, even if they've recently robbed you, you should still lend them the $500 they need to move to another city. They're your family after all. Dad, I don't even know how mom married your dumbass. That an emergency fund wasn't necessary when you can always get a payday loan or use your credit card. He wasn't joking. A relative tried to recruit me into Amway. He wound up stuck with a garage full of their products. One of my uncles once told me that I never really had to pay my phone bill. He suggested that I simply jump to another carrier and let the first company cut you off. His life has turned out exactly as you'd imagine. Hold on to those French francs. They will be worth a lot someday. I'm not holding my breath. I've lived on my own since I was 17. I bought a car and worked my ass off to pay it off. It needed new tires, so I called my mom to ask her how to go about it. I literally didn't know tires had sizes, for Pete's sake. She told me to just go trade it in for a new car. And I listened to her. I traded a paid off 5-year-old car because it needed new tires. You guys. Once you cut up the credit card, you don't have to pay it. My cousin is not doing so hot. I'm pretty sure there are warrants out for his arrest in several states. Take out a $401k loan to build a pool. It will raise the value of your house. Spend whatever is in your bank account the day before payday. Just get another credit card. My friend who hasn't worked in 3 years and is currently just vibing with his new credit cards he somehow got approved for. I got $90 and my 11-year-old son told me I should buy $90 worth of kazoos. 1976 San Francisco. Keep renting. No one will ever pay $35,000 for a 2-bedroom house and garage with a sweeping view of the East Bay. Added later, I went back to visit the old neighborhood a few years ago. Those $35,000 stucco homes up many flights of steps perched on the top of Potrero Hill were now all gentrified, remodeled, gated, and asking $1 M plus, and that was 5 years ago. Don't worry about a career. Armageddon will come before you finish high school. My parents. Jehovah's Witnesses. When I got to university and opened a student current account, I received an interest-free overdraft of about $1,200. I wasn't entirely sure of what that meant. My brother informed me, so that's like your new zero, and encouraged me to use it to buy a new gaming PC. For the next few years I really wish I hadn't taken that advice. He's never been too amazing with his money, so I should have seen that one coming. Unfortunately, we have to learn the hard way sometimes. Put it all on black. Only bad advice half the time. Edit. I know how roulette works, I just felt like only using 6 words. Don't take a raise if it puts you into the next tax bracket. And pay the minimum on your credit card to establish good credit. As others have pointed out, sometimes getting into another bracket or other threshold may affect other benefits such as food stamps and other government non-governmental assistance. Mileage may vary. I was specifically talking about taxes. Don't invest in a 401k. Luckily, these beanie babies are an investment in our future. Edit. Thank you for my first silver. Don't make more money. You'll go up a tax bracket and end up paying more taxes, so you'll end up making less overall. This isn't how taxes work, people. If you go $1 into the next tax bracket, only that $1 is taxed higher. You can't make less money by making more money. Edit. Yay. My first awards. Thanks, party people. A few people pointed out some edge cases. For example, tiered benefit packages can cause this to not always be quite true. Also, you might notice your immediate paycheck not be as high from working a few overtime shifts as you would expect. That's because the taxes which are taken from that individual check are calculated as though that's how much you make all year. It gets a little more complicated, but it will be worth it come tax time. Overtime is a great way to earn some extra cash if you have the time and energy. Edit 2. This is also coming from Canada. From reading replies, I've learned a lot about tax in several other countries I never knew. Thanks everyone. Know what's better than winning money on roulette? Doubling down and winning even more. Join my MLM and make lots money. Don't major in computer science. Computer scientists are a dime a dozen. I did not take that advice. Guy I haven't seen in 3 years or so wanted to talk me into starting a business with him. Because he just got into college for a bachelor's degree in business. Yeah, sure. Let me get my checkbook out in this badly illuminated garage while we're both drunk. About 5 years ago, I had a friend who was trying to convince me to study through a private college because they gave her a free iPad. She never finished the course, but kept the iPad. You only got to keep it once you pay your fees and graduate. Mind you, the price of the course included the iPad, so it wasn't free. So last year, 4 years later, I get a call from the college asking for her contact info. She put me down as a reference and they were chasing her down because she still owed her fees and wasn't entitled to keep the iPad. Just ignore the collection call and eventually they will leave you alone. I didn't follow this advice. I had a parking ticket I didn't know about that ended up on my credit, and the guy I mentioned it to gave me that bit of wisdom. Get a bigger mortgage. You can deduct more from your taxes. Yeah, dumbus. And I'll be spending double that amount in interest, so why should I? Legit got told to don't buy food. It's a useless investment like the hell. $tav. You can live the entire rest of your life without food. Incite me to go to a real expensive restaurant where you can spend easily $250 without drinks at a time I only had $700 in bank account and had not paid for my car, groceries and stuff. Because come on, we only live once. How about we only live once on your dime then? Since you feel so passionately about it. Because I'd like my one-time living to be long and secure. Don't go to community college. You'll never get a job. Instead apply at X and X colleges. My grandmother, aunt, uncle, and cousin all told me this. And I really considered their advice because my parents really didn't give a what I did. Since I didn't get any scholarships from high school, I decided at least if I went to CC and didn't get a job I wouldn't have student debt and I could just do something else. I went to CC for 2 years totally free on FAFSA grants. It was $800 a semester lol, and did so well I transferred to a university with a almost full ride. I am now a semester away from graduation with a job lined up and all of 4k of student debt which is likely to be forgiven anyway. Not me. But my dad's friend makes a decent more money than him. He owns boats, takes luxurious trips, buys top of the line clothes and goes to the best restaurant where he orders the most expensive wine he can get. He always tells my dad to live more in the moment, telling him to invest in himself and enjoy his life. My dad is happily planning his retirement with my mom. This guy doesn't have a dime saved. He will work to the day he dies. A local businessman died unexpectedly in his 50s a few years ago. He had very nice cars, a very nice home, traveled regularly and had bought a boat costing in excess of $1 million shortly before his death. He was in debt up to his ass. His wife was blissfully unaware of the financial situation. Everything she tried to sell was encumbered by more debt than it was worth. The boat cost her $200,000 to get rid of. She was essentially 55 years old with no money, no home and no marketable skills. He had made millions in his life, but spent millions more. First year out of college, working for a financial advisor, and he tried to convince me to put 5% down and buy an apartment in Chicago. It was the summer of 2007. Had a professor in this kind of bootleg college. He clearly took the job as a favor. He was some Wall Street type. He said he doesn't get why students who are young and have no assets don't just borrow a ton of money to pay for college, then declare bankruptcy, since they have no assets anyway. Aside from wrecking your credit, student loans are dischargeable by bankruptcy. Let's go to the casino and double your paycheck. Someone gave me the great advice to take out a loan to pay off a loan. I didn't listen to this advice. They are now as you acute 80,000 dead I am not. Edit. Not in a refinancing way to save on interest. It does make sense though if you're replacing a high interest loan with a low interest one. It's not really paying off the loan as you will still owe the same money to the bank or another bank. But over time you'll end up paying less interest on it. I'm sick of being poor. You just got your scholarship. That's so much money. You should totally buy a you.I. An uncle told me I should rather spend my money and enjoy life because you only live once, rather than save your money to build up a retirement fund. I am now in my 50s and C0 Rona unemployment has devastated the little bit of savings I had. Should never have listened to Uncle Jarvis. My dad in 2008 don't invest that $1,000 into Apple. My dad in 2012 Tesla is a pipe dream. Stock won't be worth the paper is printed on. What's the next thing he doesn't like? 6/10 things on our Wall Street bets are the worst financial advice I've ever gotten. And they would agree with you. Keep it Turkish liras. Not me. But my roommate wanted his girlfriend, someone he admitted couldn't manage money well, to get a credit card so that it would teach her financial responsibility. It sounded like she was being set up for failure. Making someone get a credit card who is already bad with money is just a recipe for future debt. My ex, in his mid-20s and lived at home with no expenses, went out of the country for 2 weeks with a budget of $2,700. He was real proud of his breakdown. $1,000 credit available on credit card A. $1,000 credit available on credit card B. $300 in available overdraft. $100 in checking. $300 in savings. I tried to explain that this is not a great way to budget for a trip. And his response was credit cards are meant to be used. As long as you pay the minimum payment, you're good. What do you know about credit cards? You never use it? Don't pay off your entire credit card balance when the bill comes. Pay it slowly so that it shows your ability to pay debt over time. This will help your credit score. High school guidance counselor told me not to go to a state school for college. Reasons were 1. I was the valedictorian so I could do better. 2. If I wanted a good job after school I'd need a name on my resume of a more respectable school. And 3. A better school would have more networking opportunities. Yeah, so that was a whine lie. Now I'm in tons of student loan debt. And my first boss after college had gotten his degrees at the state school I originally wanted to go to. Eater. I'm an engineer. He knew I was going into engineering. This is from an accountant. I know. Not exactly what the question's asking. But my mom has an aunt who thinks the bank is just giving you free money when you use the ATM. I'm not trying to be mean. But does she just have an actual learning disability or impairment? An ATM is a concept most 12-year-olds would be able to comprehend. Someone told me they turned down a promotion raise to stay in a lower tax bracket. Not the worst, but a common misconception I hear is parents telling their kids to use their credit cards and keep a balance to get better credit. Absolutely false. That I'd get better credit if I let my credit card accrue some debt and interest month to month. Lease a car. Don't buy used. Lease car price, $25. 000. My used car I drove for multiple years without maintenance, aside from tires, oil, $3. Trust me, I am your mother. One time I went into a dealership and I was in the finance department talking to a junior sales manager. I was waiting for her to run the numbers. And after I came back I decided not to go through with buying the car. I told her with the amount I would be spending on interest over a 5-year period I would be better off saving it up and buying it outright. And she told me that buying a depreciating asset with cash is one of the worst decisions I could make. And that in 5 years sales managers would be replaced by robots that I wouldn't be able to negotiate with. Wish I was making this up. You should lease a car. No, not the car lease advice. My insurance agent once tried to sell me an annuity espousing all the benefits of a steady stream of guaranteed income upon retirement. Fortunately, I knew enough about the dangers of purchasing high cost, high commission, complex insurance products that lock you in for many years, have steep penalties if you need to cancel, and offer abysmal returns compared to an unmanaged low-cost index fund that I told him he should really stick to selling home and auto insurance. More like old advice that is no longer relevant. Always take cash to pay for a car. It gives you the advantage. No. Nowadays the dealership has an incentive to help you with financing. Never get a credit card. Credit cards and their proper use are important for credit rating. Without a credit history, trying to finance big items is more difficult. Some bits of classic advice stand, including save at least 10% of your income every month. Set aside 5-10% to just enjoy, fun money. Live within your means on the remaining money. And the best I've been given. When you budget for the cash you need on hand for a house purchase, for incidentals like moving and getting the house ready, double that amount because there are always going to be a host of unforeseen things to deal with. The dealership one is so true. I have bought a car by cash but wouldn't tell them that until we agreed a price. They will take a slightly lower offer thinking they will make more money through financing. 2. And I quote, get a job somewhere. Bank at TCF. Totally free checking. Just buy the damn base. Sell the damn base. TSLA puts. My husband and I were looking to sell our home and buy another, and the realtor told us to put 99 dependents on our taxes so we make more. She said she had done it for years and it was fine. We left pretty quickly after that. 99 dependents. The IRS looking at that thinking, what is this? An orphanage. Definitely gonna need to buy a bigger home for all of them. Money is just an object, yeah. It's an object our society is based around. I was too poor to go to college. Actually, my parents were pretty well off, but they refused to pay due to religious differences. And they wouldn't have disowned me. So I didn't qualify for financial aid or even really grants. The few scholarships I had a shot at wouldn't add up to tuition, let alone living expenses. Anyway, I took a bus across country eating cans of beans to save money so that I could attend a good friend's small wedding. While crashing on dorm couches, I met the groom's very wealthy mother. We talked a bit and she was charmed by my precocious banter. She asked where I was going to college. I gave her a very brief rundown of the situation. Maybe 2 sentences. And she just said, "Oh. You just have to go to college. Don't let money be a deciding factor." I thought about that useless advice many times throughout the years. I still hear it sometimes. At inappropriate times. Like when someone asks for spare change. I wonder what it would be like to go through the world so oblivious, thinking everyone was just letting money be too much of a factor. My mother, who ruined my credit score in my late teens early 20s by using my social, without me knowing, to finance appliances, get cable and other bills. Never paid on time and actually sent me to collections. Just asked me to buy another house in my name so she can open a daycare because her trailer is not fit to be a daycare. In return she will take care of my 2 kids for free. She lost her brand new home in 2008 because she couldn't keep up with the payments and actually had to file bankruptcy. I spent all my 20s fixing my credit score and I started saving. Give me your money, I'll hold on to it for you. Mom. People all the time tell me not to let finances get in the way of my dreams. Yes, I'm gonna let that get in the way. I'm not gonna dig myself $100k deep in student loans so I can get my dream job. I'll get something a little less moderate that still makes me happy, thank you. From me to me. Use the credit card again. You'll pay a bit more off when you get paid later this month. Maxed out 2 credit cards. You accrued 19k in debt. Most of that is probably interest. That's how they get you. Back when the tech stocks crashed, my father had me sell 1,000 shares of a startup company called Google. Take out a student loan. You'll be able to pay it back easy when you have a degree. Spend it. You can take it with you. Enjoy it while it lasts is what he meant. It didn't last long. And I'm still here. To put all your money into savings. If you don't invest some of your money, you're missing out on major money. The worst piece of financial advice somebody has given me is no advice at all. And my dad died. He left a substantial sum of money for me. At this point, I'm pretty sure he probably would have been able to have an advisor guide me with my finances once I received this money. But there wasn't one. Anyway, the financial advisor I was given gave me a blank checkbook and at 19, I blew through it. Moral of the story. If you're leaving a will. Did you know you can save money if you stop buying coffee and make it at home? Gee, thanks Sherlock. I'm practically about to retire and live rich with that smart tidbit s. Jesus Christ. People aren't poor because of coffee. It's coffee, not cocaine. Maybe they were actually talking about cocaine. Let me fix this. Did you know you can save money by making your own cocaine instead of buying it? We even have a recipe and tutorial on how to make it. Start yourself on the path to living debt-free and enjoy financial freedom with your own homemade cocaine. Plus, did you know you can save more if you cut it with baking soda? How frugal. Watch that savings account grow in no time. You should buy this new digital currency that is guaranteeing daily compound interest. I'll send you the link so you can sign up for a BitConnect account as one of my referrals. If you can't afford to pay back your student loans, just ignore it. Can't bleed a turnip. My father. He followed it with something along the lines of, what's the worst they can do to you? The answer. A lot. They can do a lot to you. Interest only loans for mortgages. Buy low. Sell high. It makes it sound like we should all be psychic day traders. I wish I had been taught use expendable income to buy incrementally and hold for long-term growth. Get married, they said. You'll be able to do more with your combined income, they said. Even though I earn 3 times what my wife earned. It would be a multiplier, they said. Your life savings would bring early retirement and the opportunity to do exactly what you want to do, they said. I lost a lot to my wife after a short 3 years childless marriage. My life is Ed. Sounds like the advice was right. For her. Get a new car as soon as or before you pay off the one you have. They told me. Everyone has a car payment their entire lives. Not me. I keep my cars until they won't go anymore. That my $1 carabiner I used for work was a bad investment. From the same guy who. The same week.